Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I am driving this. This is the Rolls-Royce Cullinan Black Badge, the most expensive SUV in the world and also the most luxurious SUV in the world. Straight away, let's open the engine bay. That is the engine of the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, the same engine which also powers the other Rolls-Royce cars. And if you notice one thing, that the engine is closer to the cabin, not really on the nose as such, and you obviously get a strut bar here as well. Engine is super clean, super nice and super awesome as well. Obviously it gets hydraulic struts as well as insulation right there. Now in terms of design, it's either a love it or a hate it design, because Rolls-Royce has actually gone ahead and given it a design language similar to its other cars. So it seemed like a jacked up Phantom. However, it does have a lot of presence. Now this being the Black Badge gets blackened treatment. For starters, the Spirit of Ecstasy is also finished in black, and this obviously retracts when you turn off the vehicle and comes out when you turn on the car, and you can also manually get it out and put it in. That's what she said. Okay, that didn't go down well, by pressing a button on the key. Now the grille has been finished in black, gloss black around, but not the center portion, which continues to be in chrome. And because it's a Black Badge, obviously you also get blackened finish here, including on the logo of the vehicle. Now a lot of radar systems on this vehicle, not that, but they're on the front windscreen, which obviously aids in a lot of things which I'll tell you when we drive the vehicle. And the lights are very similar to what we've seen on other Rolls-Royce cars. In fact, the attention detail is so much. You can see RR written right there, the Rolls-Royce logo. Projector setup, multiple beams for the same, and the DRL also looks really nice on this vehicle. In fact, the whole car looks really nice from certain angles, especially when viewed head on. It's only when you see it from the quarter angle you realize that's a bit ungainly and doesn't look so fluid. Meanwhile, coming to the side, you see the massive length of the vehicle. The length happens to be more than 5.3 meters. The height happens to be more than 1.8 meters, and the width is an obnoxious 2.1 meters. The wheels have also been upgraded. They're much more sportier now, and the brake calipers are finished in red, a first for the Rolls-Royce brand. The front tire size happens to be 255 45 22, and you know what? This always maintains itself on top. Yeah, the logo will never be seen any other way because there's a mechanism by which it self-centers. That's also pretty cool. Rolls-Royce written right there on the side, and obviously it gets a 360-degree parking camera, so the camera is placed on the outside rear view mirrors as well. Nicely done design elements. So coming from the side, again, like I told you, the car is very long and also has a lot of presence on the road. In fact, many people stop just to see the vehicle. That is the amount of presence this vehicle has. The rear, of course, will remind you of other Rolls-Royce cars again. So they maintain the design language, and these are actually functional exhausts on this car. Yeah, it has got quad exhaust, two on either side. Yeah, sports exhaust and rear parking sensors right here. Meanwhile, it also gets a reverse parking camera, of course. From the other side, here you see the vehicle looks nice indeed. Love the blue shade, although a Black Badge would look great in black color. Now we've got a shark fin antenna on the top. We've got a roof spoiler along with a stop light. Meanwhile, Rolls-Royce actually says it's a 3-box, okay? So obviously the first box happens to be off the hood, the second box happens to be of the cabin, and the third box is somewhere here, which doesn't really look like a box, but still. Anyways, coming to the rear tire, 285 40 22. So bigger size tires, lower profile, and the brake calipers are a bit hidden, but they are also finished in red, which looks very cool. Now let's open the boot of the vehicle, which means just pressing a button here, and there the boot opens. It's actually written down as a 6-door. Yeah, this car is actually known as a 6-door. Why a 6-door? Because this happens to be the 6-door there, so that you can actually sit here and enjoy a picnic. Meanwhile, I can't help but show you the RR logo inside the light as well. That is the level of attention to detail on offer. Love the whole finishing here. You can actually sit here and enjoy a picnic sort of. Yeah, that is the reason why we have this split tailgate, which is also seen on BMW cars. Meanwhile, okay, the party trick here happens to be the fact that the boot is obviously big, but in spite of it being big, it does occupy a lot of space because of this optional thing, I believe. So press this button here and just see what comes out. Yeah, these are the picnic seats. They come out, and then you can sit on it and maybe enjoy a picnic as well. So here we go, picnic seats. Really cool feature now. So technically this car happens to be a 6-seater. Well, take that XL6. Super cool, na? Wow, whoever thought about that needs a race for sure. But then how comfortable is it? Well, let me sit on it first and tell you that under thigh support is a bit lacking, but there's good amount of legroom, in fact unlimited amount of legroom and knee room, and headroom isn't an issue either. Plenty of headroom on offer as well, unless someone closes this. Meanwhile, okay, now we have to shut this. Okay, this is how it's done. First you need to fold it and then you need to press this button. So when you press this button, there it folds, retracts and goes inside. Now all this is actually powered by a 12 volt charging socket which is at the rear. Usually you could use it for a refrigerator, but it's somewhere here. Yeah, there it is. Actually the manual is occupying a lot of space right now, and these are actually the buttons which I just showed you. Meanwhile now it's obviously put the suspension down. It's got air suspension, so suspension moves all over the place to ensure your comfort and ease of ingress and egress. Now it has this no dog sign here. Why? Because there is this glass partition to ensure there's no sound which goes inside the cabin from the rear wheel arch. So there is no air circulation here, so you can't put your dog here. Now what is this button? Well, I don't know if I can show this to you for a reason which I will just tell you in a moment. If I press this button, actually both the lids close, but right now we want the upper lid open so that I can show you this feature. So you're going to open this right away and I'm going to press this button, and guys, don't freak out, okay? It kind of looks awkward. So when I press this button, check this out. Yeah, that comes out. That is the towing hook. So you can tow a trailer and you can definitely, attach your caravan and go. I don't know if Rolls-Royce owners will ever prefer to do that, but you just press a button and there it retracts. Okay, we need to do that once again. There it comes out. Because it's a Rolls-Royce, everything is electronic. Somehow it takes some amount of time to come in and go out. Well, that's what she said. Yeah, it's a heavy thing for sure. Anyways, let's close the boot. Sorry dog, you're not allowed in this car. Let's get inside the rear seat. So it gets coach doors, which means that the doors swing open the other way. Yeah, just for easy ingress and egress. And here is a USB-C charging socket. Good amount of space on the door pockets. Beautiful bespoke audio speakers and a lot of controls here as well. There's a flying lady, nicely done indeed, and there are curtains as well. Okay, there's good amount of space on offer. In fact, there's plenty of space on offer. On the inside it says Cullinan here, along with the infinity badging which is also there in the center. Why is there an infinity badge? Well, it actually dates back to the 1930s or something, when Rolls-Royce powered boat actually won some race. But let's get inside. You can see controls are here. This is actually for the seat adjustment, and you can adjust the seat in a multitude of ways. Straight away, once I get inside, let me tell you, the seat is extremely comfortable, extremely luxurious. But first and foremost, we should shut the door, which means there are actually buttons here. Can you see those buttons? This button for door and volume. Press this button and the door closes. Yeah, that is so cool. All the doors in this car are electrically retracting. So now there's good amount of space on offer here. There is a magazine holder, scooped out seat back, but the real trick happens to be by pressing this button. Yeah, the table retracts. Now if I press this button, the screen retracts and I can actually operate everything from the screen. Now this is obviously a touchscreen system here, which is very nice and fluid. Right now I'm just in the wrong menu. Here we are. You can operate almost each and everything from this screen. If you want to shut it, you can individually shut, or you can just press this button once and there both of them shut down as well. Now there are AC vents here on the pillar. Okay, I by mistakenly pressed a button here right now, so we're just going to press it again and open everything because I need to show you that as well. Now there are AC vents in the center, and this lever is so beautiful to actually operate the AC vents, to turn them on and off. There is no number here. It says off, soft, medium, high and maximum, and it also gets heated seating at the rear. Meanwhile, these are actually controls for the temperature, and hot and cold is basically there instead of numbers. Again, you've got a 12 volt charging socket, nice plastic thing right there, and aux ports so that you can listen to audio along with a CD player as well. Now see, there's plenty of legroom on offer. There's so many AC vents. In fact, the AC vents here as well. Yeah, there's an AC vent right below the front seats too. And you can see the carpet. Oh my god, this is so amazing. It's super soft, it's super nice. You can sink into it. So good amount of space on offer at the rear for sure, and a lot of light controls here as well. You can turn on the lights, but this particular car is not equipped with Rolls-Royce's signature Starlight system, which uses 1340 LEDs along with a shooting star. Well, the car is not equipped with it, but it's equipped with the sunroof, which I'll show you in a bit. Now, as you can see, it gets curtains. Press a button and you can close the curtains. That again is so cool. Yeah, that is privacy to the next level, and you can operate both the side curtains from your side. So press either of the buttons to close the curtains or open the curtains. Meanwhile, this is for the rear curtain. So there's a rear curtain as well. There it shuts. Complete privacy at the rear without any doubt whatsoever. This headrest is also super soft. I mean, super duper soft. Your head actually sinks inside. It obviously gets ISOFIX child seat mount, but I doubt children are going to be sitting here. Now this is for the massage function at the rear, and memory seats. You can save up to 2 people settings. A lot of carbon fiber inside this vehicle. Seat is super comfortable. Now if I press this button, this thing opens the controller, and it obviously has the Spirit of Ecstasy on it. You can operate the front system here, the maps and everything. All the controls are right there in your hand in the center armrest at the rear. So if I press this button, check this out, what happens. Yeah, it opens both of these things. That again is super cool. Yeah, absolutely cool how there are multiple ways of opening the screen as well as the table. Meanwhile, let's turn on the massage. Now, in order to actually see the settings for the massage, I have to open the screen here. When I turn on the massage, the function is turned on, and there are a lot of massages like shoulder massage, lumbar massage, upper body massage, and whatnot. We'll look at that once we go to the front. This again closes. It's so much fun opening and closing this. The seats are super wide and super awesome as well. Now, another party trick is here under the armrest, there are glasses. Okay, not your regular glasses. It says Rolls-Royce right there, and there's also a nice glass bottle which feels super awesome. In fact, okay, listen to the sound. Isn't that amazing? The whole way this thing has been done is just mind-bogglingly awesome. Okay, it's empty right now, but has a Rolls-Royce logo on the top. Now, there are twin 12-volt charging sockets here as well. So, plenty of charging sockets as well. Actually, you know, a person who has a Rolls-Royce might want to charge a lot of things probably. And here is a refrigerator. Yes, first this reclines and there opens the refrigerator. Now, there are two glasses here. Oh my god, they're super chilled. Open it like this, and that's a beauty now, isn't that? Meanwhile, again, you can keep your drinks cool inside this. The way this thing makes a sound is super cool. Okay, check this out. Really cool. So a refrigerator inside a Rolls-Royce, nothing new. You can obviously adjust the temperature by selecting either of the modes for the cooling function as well. So as you see, the whole cabin feels super duper awesome, and you see tweeters are placed right there on the top right. Meanwhile, it's got a multitude of airbags as well. This thing is super duper awesome. I mean, just look at it. The quality, the feel, everything inside this car is just next level. The controls, the buttons, the switches. OMG, what a beauty. Amazing indeed. Now, I was showing you how to open and close the doors. Well, that's easy by pressing a button. But the problem is that when you have to open the door, you have to push it forward. It does not open electronically. It cannot, because you won't see someone is coming from behind, and the door will automatically open and knock someone off. This is also finished in metal. Wow, amazing treatment. I can actually touch the car completely everywhere. That is the level of quality and offer. That is the interior, rather. That is the dashboard of the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. And as you see it, it's bathed in a lot of luxury. So we are going to get out right away, and we have to shut the door. But before that, let me show you another cool trick of this car, which is an umbrella. Yeah, it gets an umbrella and proper umbrella holder as well. Rolls-Royce umbrella. So obviously it's going to be expensive if you manage to lose it. And let's open this umbrella right away. But you know, the depth here is so much that the umbrella easily fits inside. But the attention to detail is so good that it says Rolls-Royce Goodwood. Yup, Rolls-Royce Goodwood, because that's where the car is actually assembled. And these are actually the controls for the front seat, the co-passenger seat. I just love this. This is so freaking cool. The glove box is very small indeed, but there is a fire extinguisher inside. The only disappointing part is you have to actually open the glove box. There should have been a button like in Range Rovers. Press a button and the glove box actually comes down. There, slowly, 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 it will shut. Now, it's not completely shut, but it will pull the door inside, because obviously it has got soft door close. Again, soft door close. This is how it works. Need to push it a little bit more. There, it pulls it back inside. We'll just show it again for the front door. There, it pulls it back inside. You can actually insert the key in case, you know, the battery is down. And this is the request sensor, but you know, just put your hand, you don't have to press the request sensor. It will automatically open the door. Now, this is a warning triangle for the blind spot monitor, and The wipers also look really nice, dual blade wipers on this vehicle. Lot of radar sensors right near the windscreen as well. The front is loaded with so many features that in spite of this car being a chauffeur driven car, it's more of a driver's car somehow in terms of features on offer. First and foremost, lot of buttons here at the front as well. The flying lady, chrome treatment, speakers, tweeters. This is absolutely lovely. This is to open the boot of the vehicle. This is to adjust the outside rear view mirrors, and these are the power window controls. Meanwhile, the front door pocket is also large enough. This is actually so that you can operate the co-passenger seat, which means once I've selected this, I can move the seat ahead and behind. And because that particular seat is the most abused seat somehow, you know why? Press L2 button, not 2 but 2 button, and then you can decide to move the seat ahead or behind just to increase the legroom on offer, because there's already so much legroom. You might just want even more legroom somehow. Anyways, coming to the driver's side, there are so many buttons to adjust the seats in a multitude of ways. So here are a ton of buttons to adjust the seat. But you know what? Memory seats for 2 people. This is for the massage function. You can turn on massage using this button. And this, like I told you, is to move the co-passenger seat. It says Cullinan right there. There's a massive dead pedal. This is the electric parking brake. This is the auto hold function. And these are the light controls. Now, this is also a piece of art. Just see how it is to operate. Wow, automatic headlights, obviously, parking lights, and this is to increase or decrease the intensity of the instrument cluster. Meanwhile, the seats are extremely comfortable, extremely luxurious, and offer great amount of support as well. I love the way this orange treatment has been done somehow. Let's get inside. Love the softness of the mats as well. Now, once inside, to close the door, it's super simple. There's a button here. I press this, and there, the door closes. Now, there are 2 buttons here. One is for the driver's door, and the other is for the co-passenger door. The interior looks really very nice, extremely luxurious, and extremely comfortable as well. For starters, you get this beautiful clock there, analog clock, and a lot of carbon fiber finishing on this vehicle for that premium appeal. You can obviously see this orange treatment, which is also nice, this beautiful orange stitching as well. Meanwhile, that is the button for the co-passenger door to close it, and everything inside this car just reeks of exquisite luxury. So steering is quite large, but it has got plenty of buttons. Now this is obviously for the multimedia, this is to pick up a call, and this happens to be to browse through the functions. Meanwhile, these are the audio controls, and this is for the voice commands. On the left, you've got switches for the cruise control. It obviously gets adaptive cruise control, so you can actually decide what kind of a distance you want to maintain using these buttons. The horn is not at all loud on the inside because of great insulation. However, it should be loud on the outside. Now, this is a digital instrument cluster. You see, there's no tachometer on offer. There's a power reserve meter. In the center, we've got a speedometer, and on the rightmost, we've got meters for the temperature as well as the fuel. It's telling me the time on the bottom right along with the outside temperature. And in the center, we've got trip functions, which you can browse through the lever on the left. And they're showing distance to empty, what has been the average speed, what is the fuel economy of the vehicle, so on and so forth, along with a compass as well. And the good thing here is that this is very similar to what we see in BMW. So BC is very similar to what we see in BMW. So automatic headlight, this is for the indicators, and on the right, this switch is for the gear selector. Yeah, low mode is for the sport mode. So you actually select the gear like this. That's pretty cool indeed. Unlike, in the Mercedes where you just select it. Let's quickly use the wipers and see how they work, for which there is another lever, and you see there's so much spray on offer. Crazy amount of spray on offer. Wipers work brilliantly well. There is another lever here, which is actually for the wipers, and this is so cool and so high quality as well. Meanwhile, the center console is really very large, and this is similar to what I showed you at the rear as well, but plenty of buttons. Now this is for parking assist, this is to raise the ground clearance, to decrease the ground clearance, and this is to get into the parking cameras. This is for downhill assist, and this is the off-road mode of the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. Now this is like an Idrive system completely, so you've got similar stuff around as well. Meanwhile, we've got twin cup holders right there, and these are the AC controls. Instead of putting temperature numbers, they have actually put this red and blue thing, which is actually cool. Same is the case with the climate control system. It's got a 4-zone climate control system. This is the hazard light button. This is the volume control and turn on and off the infotainment system, and this is to lock the vehicle. There's a screen which can be closed. Right now it's showing the cameras, so we'll get into the menu. There's so much on offer. First and foremost, let me show you the night vision camera. This is the night vision camera. It's a beautiful camera, although if it had been in the cluster, it would have been just better somehow. And let me turn off the camera. Now, this is actually to decide which radio you want to listen to. getting into my vehicle, you realize that this is very similar to what we see in the BMW iDrive. In fact, there's a control for spirit of ecstasy. You can lower it. Yeah, if you want, you can just lower it and shut it if you want, or you can raise it whenever you feel like. So, depends on your mood. If you want it to be seen, it can be set on automatic as well. Driving information shows you onboard computer, which is showing a mileage of 5.4 kilometers per liter. There's a trip computer. There's a lot of information. The regular stuff which you see in BMW iDrive, well, that has been tweaked for the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. That's the reason why you actually see a Cullinan here. Meanwhile, navigation, everything is here itself. Beautiful, easy, fast, and definitely something which is very fluid as well. Getting into the maps, look at the maps, very cool. It has a 3D view and whatnot too. So Rolls-Royce has done a great job of adapting BMW's iDrive system without any hitch. Now this happens to be a touchscreen, obviously. And you know what, it also shows you roadside information in the instrument cluster. It has got speed warning, it has got lane keep assist, and plenty of other safety features as well. Just the finishing here is super duper awesome indeed. Below the front center armrest as well, there is storage space along with a 12-volt charging socket, along with a light as well, and twin compartments too, and a wireless charging pad. Now this is the wireless charging pad. Not the best location for the wireless charging pad, because if the phone is big, it might not charge, and then you obviously cannot use it or cannot even see it when it is charging somehow. Hello.
How are you?
Good, good.
No speaking English good.
Okay.
No problem.
You got a frameless inside rear view mirror, which is obviously auto dimming, and you got plenty of lights here as well. So there are no dearth of lights inside this car to ensure that when you are counting your money, you can actually see it. But why would you count your money here? Anyways, there's a mirror along with a light, the usual affair. But just see the treatment. Everything is so freakingly well done. In fact, the receiver for the microphone is also finished in this beautiful metal, and I love this. This is so freaking cool. This is one of the best features in this car, I believe. Got a massive panoramic roof as well. But I kind of miss the Starlight Roof, which would have been really epic inside this car. 1340 LED somehow. Oh my god, that brings in a lot of light. Press it once again, and there the roof also opens, bringing in a lot of air somehow, and a dust as well in this situation. Does it open further? Yeah, it actually does open. That's a massive roof. That is humongous. Well, that's what she said. There's an SOS button just in case you need help somehow. And obviously, you also get a mirror and light on the other side as well. Meanwhile, as you can see, this cluster is loaded with so much information. It's absolutely madness. I mean, you can't really browse through this cluster because there is so much information on offer. Especially in vehicle settings, you can keep going and checking stuff like even snow chains. You can turn that on. It's also got the massage function here. So when you get into seat comfort, get into driver's seat, and there you can see seat massage. So many functions here. Actually, you can decide what kind of a massage you want, and the massage works brilliantly well, although it's not as aggressive as what I've seen in the Mercedes Maybach. Neither is the cooling or the heating function as aggressive. But talking about heating function, there is this button to heat the steering wheel in cold climates, and this is obviously for the heating function of the driver's seat, and this is for the cooling function of the driver's seat. And same is the case for the co-passenger as well. That's the cooling function, and this happens to be the heating function. Now you can see inside this thing, yup, it seems very deep somehow. I love this. This is so well done. This is super beautiful and super awesome and high quality as well. It's got all these lane departure warning, lane change warning, as well as collision warning. Look at that. Okay, ahead I think it's a Rolls-Royce Wraith. So they've actually worked a lot on the graphics to ensure something is very fluid and nice and enjoyable to watch for everyone. Meanwhile, the good thing here is that the audio system is absolutely phenomenal. So let's play an audio right away. That is the audio quality right now on radio. You can imagine what the audio quality would be otherwise. And because I'm sitting in this car with the air conditioning off so that the volume of the mic is proper, I am completely drenched in sweat. You'll never ever see anybody like that in a Rolls-Royce. Anyways, let's get driving right away. Continuing with some of the cooler bits which I forgot to talk about. Obviously, I didn't show you the buttons. Those are the buttons to open and close the doors, and you can open and close whichever door you want from there. This is for the intelligent safety. You press a button, there it says intelligent safety, slew of safety systems in this vehicle for various functions as well. Meanwhile, under thigh support is not an issue in this car, yippee, because you can actually extend the under thigh support as per your liking. And here we have a button which actually reclines the rear sun blind. The rear one, which is the rear windscreen sun blind, there it goes inside to give you a complete black experience, because this is after all a Rolls-Royce Black Badge. Now in order to close the door, I was showing you actually pressing a button and then running away. What you can do is just tap this button and then the door will close on its own. Here, you tap the button and there the door closes on its own. Now that works on all the doors of the vehicle, and the recline angle of the seat is also massive. Just check the recline angle on offer. You can recline it so much that you're always comfortable inside this vehicle. Next level comfort on offer. In fact, there's an armrest here as well, and the buttons, here you see the buttons to close the door and to increase or decrease the volume as well. So certainly a lot of controls, a lot of buttons, a multitude of ways to adjust things inside this vehicle. Meanwhile, like I was showing you, if you want to close the door, well, just tap it. There you go, tap it and there the door closes. How cool is that? I think we should open both the doors and do it simultaneously if we can. Here, door is open completely, and same is the case here as, oh my god, the wind is only closing the door. You don't need to take any effort whatsoever. Actually, I think I pressed the button somehow. Here we are. The door is completely open. 1, 2, 3, tap and tap. No, that didn't go down well. That tap didn't go down well. Now it's not going to close when it should. Here we tap, there it closes. That's a super cool feature of the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. Meanwhile, you might not find a rear wiper washer at the rear, but hello Range Rover, because it's hidden right there. Yeah, there is where the wiper is. Very smartly done. Can you see this? Yeah. What is it? Can you guys guess? The rear spoiler hides the wiper, the rear wiper actually. That is so Range Rover, honestly. Anyways, does it work here as well? Of course it works on every door. Just tap and the door closes. Keep it tapped for slightly more than what you tap at the rear, and the front door also closes. Meanwhile, what I don't like about this car as much is the fact that ambient light options are very limited. Compared to BMW cars which get around 10 ambient lightings, this one only gets 2 color options. Meanwhile, Mercedes cars actually get 64 ambient light color options. However, the night vision camera also does not work if the light is not on, unlike in the case of the Mercedes Maybach where the night vision camera actually works irrespective of your headlights being on. The lights are very bright at night, of course, offer strong throw. Now this is lamb's wool. This is so soft and unbelievably cushiony as well. And you see, this is actually so that it's easy for you to close the door, but you would never use it because you have a button to do that. The buttons are placed here, of course. This is for the front co-passenger door. Now to close the door, all I need to do is press this button and there it shuts as well. Now coming at the front, I forgot to show you guys where the camera is actually located. This is where the night vision camera is located on the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, and I love the lights. I love the attention to detail on the lights. The way RR has been written almost everywhere is super cool as well. Now you might be wondering how I reached from here to here where there's the Burj Khalifa. Well, another thing I need to show you actually at the rear is the platform which underpins this car. Now obviously it's a monocoque platform, but it's known as the architecture of luxury. Yeah, Rolls-Royce calls it the architecture of luxury. This platform is actually shared with the Phantom 8 and looks quite cool as well. And when you open the picnic chairs, you can also open a table, the picnic table, so that you can keep your glasses and have a nice soothing drink while sitting on the boot lid of the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. But honestly, I know you guys are so interested in the engine of this car. Now it's a V12 motor, it's a bi-turbo unit, twin turbos obviously. But how is it to drive? Well, let's get going. What are we waiting for? Here we go. Alright, we're all set to go, which means air conditioning off, getting into drive mode, getting into low mode, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor. Oh god, no power reserve. Off we go. We have already gone. Performance is really very slick, especially on low mode. It gives you added oomph. The low mode is like a sport mode here, and there's no tachometer on offer, but that power reserve is so nice to see. It's absolutely amazing. Now this car is powered by a 6.75 liter. It's a V12 motor and absolutely punches hard and fast with a sporty snarl as well. Brakes are really strong as well, because for the Black Badge, Rolls-Royce has actually gone ahead and updated the brakes on this vehicle as well. But other than the update to the brakes, the most important update to this car happens to be in terms of power and torque output, because now it produces more power as well as more torque. The standard Cullinan produces 563 horsepower. This one produces close to 600 horsepower. Meanwhile, torque output has gone up by 50 Newton meters. This one produces 900 Newton meters. Meanwhile, the standard model produces 850 Newton meters at 1600 RPM. This one produces at 1700 RPM. The result is, not only is this car quicker, it's more exciting because for the first time, a Rolls-Royce actually gets a sports exhaust. Yeah, that's right, a sports exhaust. The steering also weighs up better somehow now in this car, because there are a slew of changes other than the fact that the power and torque has been improved. It also gets, oh my god, updated brakes, more performance on offer, and definitely sounds better. The steering has also become tighter, the suspension has become stiffer as well, and all these things make this such an exciting car to drive. Meanwhile, there's a mosquito which we need to get rid of, and there it goes. Every time you get into the throttle, there's an instant response, and the motor pulls so strongly. It's very sure-footed, very exciting as well. But you drive the car calmly, get out of low mode, and it's very smooth, very refined as well. The dead end aa gaya. Now taking a U-turn is kind of effortless in spite of the massive size of this car, because the steering is super light at lower speeds but weighs up very nicely at higher speeds. And I love the gear selector as well. A little bit of a Mercedes here, but you have to actually lift it like this, so it kind of feels you're actually operating the gear lever. Performance is really very slick, but trust me, you can feel the weight of this vehicle. It weighs an obnoxious 2700 kgs. Why does it weigh so much? Because it's got plenty of features which obviously take a lot of weight, plus 100 kgs of just insulation to prevent road noise. In fact, right now I'm driving on sport mode, so you can hear a bit of the engine as well as the exhaust as well, because it gets a sports exhaust. But trust me, drive it normally, you can barely hear anything. It is so silent, it is so refined as well. And around the corner, the Black Badge has some sort of enthusiasm for sure. The way it goes and pulls is definitely going to put a big smile on your face. Yes, there's plenty of body roll on offer. There is loads and loads and loads of body roll on offer, but that's something you can deal with. You know why? Because you're never going to push this car. In fact, I get out of low mode and I can't shift the gears because there are no paddle shifters on offer. It uses an 8-speed ZF sourced gearbox, which is extremely smooth with shifts. It's so fast with shifts, you don't even feel it's a torque converter. That's the speed of shifts, and more than the speed, it's the smoothness on offer. This is a very smooth and refined car. You can barely hear the engine when you're driving the car. It's that smooth, that silent, that refined as well. And you're out of low mode when you're driving it with a sedate right foot. You don't even realize the car is moving. It's so silent. In fact, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour comes up in a respectable 4.9 seconds. Meanwhile, the top speed happens to be 250 kilometers per hour. They have limited the top speed on this car. I don't think anyone even really cares about the top speed of the vehicle. What really people care about is the ride quality, and the ride quality is absolutely brilliant and smooth as well. It is so freaking smooth. Now, it's not as smooth and comfortable as, say, a Rolls-Royce Phantom 8, but still, for a car which is even capable off the road, it's a very smooth car. It's a very refined car. It wafts along, and the feeling when you're behind the wheel is just unbelievably epic, because you can see the spirit of ecstasy, all the given moment, which actually reminds you that you're in the most expensive SUV in the world as well as the most luxurious SUV in the world. It's also got rear wheel steering. You can't really feel it that much as such, but around the bends there is a lot of body roll. However, there's good amount of traction on offer, good amount of grip as well, and this car can actually go off-road as well. However, Rolls-Royce has told me no off-roading, no turning off the stability control either, so well, I have to be careful with all those things and more. But get into the gas and the motor response. This V12 is so smooth, so refined, and so soothing as well. It really moves super smoothly, super duper smoothly, although I don't understand why there are no paddle shifters. Rolls-Royce believes that a person who buys this car really doesn't care about the numbers or about shifting gears. They just want to enjoy the luxury on offer, and trust me, there is so much luxury. Especially the ride comfort is absolutely epic. It's got self-leveling suspension, it's got electronically controlled dampers as well, but there are no modes other than the fact there's a sport mode for the gearbox with the low selector here on the gear lever. There's nothing else inside the car that you need to worry about. In fact, going off-road also, it actually raises the ground clearance by 40 mm. That's about it. But you know what? Most cars actually have a slew, and I'm talking about cheaper cars actually than the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. In fact, every SUV is cheaper than the Cullinan for sure. They've got a ton of electronics. They've got a ton of modes as well for off-road settings. This car does not have any of that. It just has one mode which says off-road. That's it. Nothing else at all. Meanwhile, the brakes are super strong as well. yes, there is nosedive under heavy braking in spite of the suspension feeling a bit on the stiffer side, because they have actually stiffened up the suspension. The whole reason to do all this and more is the fact that the Cullinan is actually a car which is going to appeal to the younger audience who actually might also drive the vehicle. But you know, the price difference between the regular Cullinan and the Black Badge happens to be around rupees 1.5 crores. That's a lot of money, but the changes are also significant here. Meanwhile, I love the way the power reserve meter keeps on dancing every given moment. The car is also very stable at higher speeds, and the ride quality is something I can keep praising again and again and again and again. Now, one of the major reasons for this ride quality happens to be the flag bearer. What exactly is that? Well, yeah, it kind of sounds weird, now flag bearer. Actually, there's a camera somewhere here which reads the road surface ahead and adjusts the suspension accordingly up to a speed of 100 kilometers per hour to ensure what Rolls-Royce likes to call as the magic carpet ride. And that's the reason the ride is super duper awesome. Now obviously we've been driving on really smooth roads, but I believe even on Indian roads this car will do absolutely stunning in terms of ride comfort without making the passenger feel about anything whatsoever. That is the level of smoothness, that is the level of ride quality on offer as well. Meanwhile, here are the brakes, super strong, so sure-footed, positive bite at the pedal. In fact, not only have they increased the disc size, they've also reduced the brake pedal play. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go. When you accelerate now, okay, it squats down from the rear, lifts a bit from the up, and lifts a bit at the front and goes with full enthusiasm as well. Not that anyone is going to care about it because fuel consumption is poor. It should return somewhere between 2 to 5 kilometers per liter. Drive it very sedately on the highway, it will return close to 5 kilometers per liter. But honestly, this car is more about 2 kilometers per liter. However, it has a massive 100 liter fuel tank as well, which means that you really don't have to keep fueling up again and again and again and again. And I can't help but, you know, enjoy the car around the corners because there's a different feel here completely. Every time you get into the throttle now, you know the car is going to move ahead but not going to tell you anything about it because the insulation is so great. I'm sure it sounds so much louder on the outside, but in spite of the massive wheels, the ride quality is so freaking sensational. Now there's a lot of tech for off-road driving as well. It actually channels power 50-50 front and rear, but it can channel 100% power to individual axles if you need it. But I don't think any owner is going to take it off-road. However, every owner who buys this car will be happy to know that there is no ground clearance issue and comfort is just beyond measure. The Cullinan obviously slots between two important vehicles from Rolls-Royce. One is the Ghost on the lower side and the other is the Phantom on the high side. It is not Rolls-Royce's flagship car. That is still the Phantom 8, which is even more luxurious than the Cullinan. But in that sense, the Cullinan is the most practical thing to ever roll out from Goodwood. Meanwhile, okay, some amount of sand on the road, not a problem here for this car at all. Visibility is great all around. Mirrors are big enough. In fact, it's also got a blind spot monitor. Every given moment, if there's something in your blind spot, it also tells you about that. But for me personally, I love the fact that you can see the hood. I love the fact that you can see the flying lady. I don't know, it's not called the flying lady actually, it's called the Spirit of Ecstasy. Use the right terms here. It just feels so epic. The car is super wide as well, so it's a little bit intimidating to drive too. But everything factored in, the Cullinan is an absolute epic SUV. I mean, over-engineered, over-featured, and they've just gone bonkers in offering so much to this vehicle. Meanwhile, around low-speed corners now, when you're driving and you're turning, you realize the steering becomes super duper light somehow and is super weighed up at higher speeds. But not really super weighed up, but definitely weighed up enough. And there's a lot of electronics here as well, like adaptive cruise control and, you know, that night vision camera, which we will turn on right away. Yeah, that night vision camera, that also helps dramatically well. So a lot of safety systems in this vehicle. But who really cares? What people really care about is that when you arrive in a Cullinan, you make a statement. And that's the reason over here so many people are actually staring at the car again and again and again, because it absolutely spells luxury, richness, opulence, and just madness as well.
Because it's almost...
The price of the Rolls-Royce Cullinan happens to be rupees 8.5 crores or thereabouts. In fact, the price goes all the way to almost 9 crores. and can go upwards of 10 crores depending on the options you actually take, because there are plenty of options available as well. There are 44,000 color options for a Rolls-Royce car. That's absolutely insane as well. Meanwhile, the camera is really very slick indeed here. The camera is so good, it's so good, I can't stop praising it. You can see the Cullinan here, you can rotate it, you can see a 360-degree view and whatnot, but then even the 5 Series does the same and more. A lot of the Idrive system actually comes from none other than BMW cars. So yes, they have actually taken almost everything from BMW. That's why I didn't go in detail in explaining this system. But you can actually close the infotainment system. The cover comes up and closes it as well. Meanwhile, this thing also extends. So you can extend this just so that you can improve how much, or rather reduce how much of light is coming inside. So privacy is obviously the name of the game here. The Cullinan also gets 4-wheel steering. Yeah, that's right, it's got rear wheel steering as well, which just makes it that much more agile somehow. But that said, should you buy one, the pricing is obviously on the higher side. And when I say higher side, it is very, very, very high indeed. It's an expensive SUV. Look at that AMG GT. The Rolls-Royce Cullinan is nothing but an over-engineered SUV, an SUV which really pushes the boundaries of luxury and price point as well. It's extremely expensive. You know how expensive it is? The insurance cost of this car for 1 year in India happens to be rupees 27 lakhs. Yeah, rupees 27 lakhs every year for the insurance of the Cullinan in India, for the Black Badge of course. Meanwhile, the insurance cost of the Rolls-Royce Phantom 8 in India is rupees 37 lakhs a year. You can imagine how expensive a car it is to own and run and maintain as well. But then, people who have already had Range Rovers and Bentleys and almost every other luxury car, they look at Rolls-Royce as something which is extremely exclusive, extremely mad in terms of luxury, and the attention to detail and the kind of quality, ride and everything else is just brilliant and out of the world. The only thing is, if you like one and if you can afford one, well, then why not go ahead and buy one? But for me personally, the Phantom 8 is still the best Rolls-Royce, or my personal preference as well. So guys, this is my rather absolute long vlog of the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, a car which, every time you touch something, you discover something new. That is the level of technology, features, comfort, luxury and whatnot on offer here, and ample amount of grunt as well from that V12 motor. If you like this vlog, you know what you have to do: give it the thumbs up, that's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I every time keep searching for the paddle shifters. You cannot control the gearbox at all, but then Rolls-Royce thinks that it's done a better job any given moment. I love the power reserve as well. For me personally, it's been a great experience driving this Rolls-Royce Cullinan, exploring luxury. I don't know how I'm going to go back to regular cars now. Bye bye. Around the corners you can see there's a lot of body roll, and you know what, I completely forgot about the heads-up display of this car. There's a heads-up display right ahead which gives you traffic sign information, exactly what is the speed limit as well as the speed, and of course navigation data as well. Very nicely done, but when you wear polarized glasses, you just cannot see that at all.